Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What we have in front of us today is the Canon AF35M II film camera, also referred to as the Canon Autoboy II in Japan, and in America I believe it was referred to as the Canon New Sure Shot. It is the successor to the Canon AF35M camera. It was made in the 1980s, early period of the 1980s. It has a hard plastic, solid build, so it's got a sturdy build to the camera, fairly simple design. It does have this grip handle here, which is a very useful thing to have, so you can really strongly grip the camera. It's about 300 grams in weight, so it's easy to carry around and to have around your neck, so it's not too heavy at all. Now, the most impressive thing to me about this camera is it has to be the lens, the 38mm 2.8 sharp lens. And if we open up the lens cover, which now that noise is not a fault. That is the noise the camera makes when you open up the lens cover. And in fact, you'll see when you press the shutter button down that it also makes a noise, a whirling noise. Unfortunately, if you're trying to be subtle and take candid photographs or be subtle about what you're doing, this camera is going to make it very difficult for you to do that. But once you get past all the noises it makes, you'll see that it is a very decent camera. So on the front we've got the self-timer over here, so you simply push that down, release the shutter button, and I think there's about 10 seconds or so before the self-timer is, the shutter's released. You've got your ISO film speed, and you simply adjust that by turning the wheel on the bottom, just down there. Okay, now this camera is automatic, aggressively automatic. It essentially, the light meter, it takes care of your exposure. There's autofocus, as you can see down there, what it says down there. Motor drive advances your film and rewinds when you say so. Shutter times is fairly quick. You go from an 80th of a second to 500th of a second, so it gets the job done in different conditions. And as again, the focus is essentially automatic, but it does have free zone focus systems, and you can adjust that by pressing the shutter button. If you look through the viewfinder, you'll see free zone focus systems, a single man, a couple, and a landscape, and you simply have to hold it down and then release the shutter to which zone focus system you require. So if we turn the camera around, see the back of the camera, you should see that it has this switch on the side here. Now that is to initiate the flash. So if we push that to the left, okay, like so, you should see the ignition light turn on here, hopefully. There we go. So the flash is now ready to fire. And if you don't want to use the flash or don't require it, simply push it down again, like so. And if you want to open the film compartment, there's a button just there on the side. So you push that down, and it releases the film compartment for you, so you can put your 35mm film in there for you. Now, batteries. It requires 2 AA batteries, which is on the right hand side of the camera, the battery chamber below, and there we go, you pop those in there. So that essentially powers the flash for you, and the shutter. I managed to get this camera for a few about £15 on eBay, so that's just over $20, I believe, which I think is a fair price. And I've got some really impressive results from the camera. Quite contrasty, lots of contrast, good detail, and overall distortion and corner performance seem fine to me. The autofocus and auto exposure systems, the zone focus system does a good job. The lens and auto exposure even manage heavily backlit subjects without getting excessive flare or underexposure, so I was very impressed by that. And that, I believe, is everything you need to know about this particular camera. Again, as I said, the most impressive thing is the 2.8 lens, that sharp lens. I was really impressed with the results I got thanks to that lens. And thank you very much for listening.